What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is Naka no Hito Genome, aka The Ones Within, episode 11. And I'm sad to say, man, it's coming to an end because we're only getting 12 episodes this season. But I gotta say, to me, hands down, best episode thus far. I don't care. The rest of all the other episodes were good. They were informative, and I enjoyed them. And they told us a lot of stuff. They gave us a lot of backstory. We got a lot of backstories on the characters, and we learned some pivotal things. And we learned some stuff about the other characters underneath everything, in how everything's run, and there's more than just one specific island and all this stuff. We learned a lot of stuff in other episodes, but to me, hands down, this was one of the best episodes. I felt everything. I laughed, I cried, I enjoyed myself to the fullest. Now let's discuss this episode, man. Yeah, man, it was great, man. It picked up right after last week's episode, after everything was over and calmed down, and we got to see Onagasaki and everyone kind of be back together and have a good time, and kind of trying to get past that whole little side experiment where it happened, where Onagasaki got taken. But this time, man, this was Maki's backstory. Aikawa, or Makino, however you want to say it, but I'm gonna call him Maki. This was Maki's backstory, man, and it was gut-wrenching, heartfelt, and towards the end it got really, really joyous, and you felt everything, man. So I loved it. And so we start right there in the room, and we see Paka-san acting all shy, trying to talk to everyone because he didn't know how they were going to feel because of everything that went down with Onagasaki. And he was like, well, Onagasaki-san, well, Kaikoyu-san has his head on his katana, and Anya-san is looking at me kind of funny, and Karerin is looking at me kind of funny. Like, this is what they always do. These three in particular never really trusted you, and we learned that Yuzu was working with you. So, I mean, they all pretty much knew you. Anya's the only one that really trusts you. So, but it was a nice episode, man, leading up to that. And they have half of the views that they need already. They have 50 million views. And let's be real, as me being a YouTuber, dude, 50 million views, that's a lot, man. But they got half of what they need to complete their goal, so that's nice. So then this game is like a simulation type game again, but they have to take care of miniature chibi versions of some of the other characters, and those characters were Himiko, Kaikoyu, Makino, and Yuzu. And let's be real, man, the chibi characters of those characters were absolutely wonderful. I need like plushies of those, or maybe just like just the dolls itself, like just little miniature toys. Like, I don't really do a lot of collecting unless it's like the manga itself, but I could definitely get some miniatures of those four characters as chibis, man. They were absolutely wonderful, and I loved it, and I love seeing them on screen. I love seeing Onagasaki sigh every time you turn around. I love seeing Yuzu falling over Iride, and I love seeing Makino just be himself. But I didn't like seeing him sad. I didn't like that. I mean, he's kind of always standoffish, even though when he's in his normal form, but he was standoffish a lot when he was a kid, because we kind of got a glimpse into his backstory, and that's what I love about Naka no Hito. It does that very well. It gives us brief little instances of everyone's backstory. Well, everyone except Iride. I mean, he talked about his whole situation this episode, but we didn't really veer into it. But everyone else, we pretty much got a nice little glimpse of what they were going through and going on in their personal life. And I love that, because they don't dive too deep into it. They just they tease you a little bit enough so you know what's going on and understand what's happening with the characters. And I love that. So then what the object of this game was to make the flowers on their head bud, and they had all three of the characters done finito, like it was nothing, which was Himiko, Kaikoyu, and Yuzu. Theirs was knocked out of the park. Theirs was super easy. But the whole episode was focusing on getting Makino to blossom, because they couldn't, because he was struggling with love and everything that was going on. And from the episode, it kind of got the gist of that his parents didn't love him, even though they are his birth parents. And even the chick is either like his next door neighbor, or like just someone that stayed in their apartment building, or maybe like a cousin or something. And she seemed like she loved him, but like he didn't, from his standpoint, he didn't really feel the love. I'm guessing it was just more of just like going through the motions, and that relate to his little chibi character, and he could blossom. And I love the fact that there was a consequence in this game too, that like if they didn't blossom, they stayed that way forever and stayed in slumber. But and I love the fact that we got to see a different side of Iride as well. He's normally always happy, hyper, and chipper, but this time, you know, he was more toned down and more serious than anything, and telling Makino that, hey man, I kind of understand what you're going through, and even if that person doesn't love you, if you love them, that's enough. And dude, I felt that, man. Dude, like I had some chicks, man, that like I like them, and maybe they like me. I don't know. I really don't know. But now they're both married and happily married, and they have kids, and I could wish nothing but the best for them. So I understand what Iride was coming from, and I love that about particular anime. When you can feel and relate to everything that the character's saying and going through and stuff like that, that's a perfect anime, man. You can't ask for any more than that, man. So, and then in the end of the episode, he kind of is going through the flashes and thinking about everything, and his shining light and amazing and saving grace was seeing everyone's face in his mind, and that's what made his flower blossom and bloom, and kind of allowed him to really soak in everything that was happening with all of the characters and what they've been going through, and they could be his family. And I love that, because I tell you guys every episode that I review that I love the camaraderie between these characters, and it's always so great, and I love that. And this was Monkey's episode, and it turned out to be a wonderful episode, man. And then we see Oshigiri also make some good character development, as well as being able to let his guard down a little bit as well, and call Makino by his first name, and be able to do that. It's very nice, man. I love everything in this episode. It was very subtle, but they done it with such grace and elegance, and I loved every single part of it, man. That's pretty much all that happened in this episode. I could talk about the other stuff that were like the comedy. Like I tell you guys every time, the comedy in this is always fantastic, and I enjoy the comedy with Paka-san at the very beginning, being scared, hiding behind the door, and when we got all of the characters that were in chibi form acting the way they did. Himiko's all shy and scared of Anya, and Kaikoyu just kept running around Sushi, and when he touched on Zakuro, it was like he doesn't have any boobs. It was like and then like when he took a bath at Cardadine, there was a bunch of comedy and great moments, but I just really wanted to touch on the fact about Makino making such huge character development, and I love that, and that's why I love this anime, man. And I'm so sad to see that it's coming to an end, but I guarantee you it has to get a second season, and if it doesn't, that's what the manga's for, baby. But this is your boy Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.